Welcome to NAIFA's Advisor Today podcast series, where we focus on how financial advisors work, live, and give to their local communities and our greater financial services industry. Now, let's get started with the show.
NAIFA Nation, we're back. Welcome to Advisor Today podcast, where we give you the voice of the advisor and we interview some of the top minds in our industry. And we're talking today to Carina Hatfield and Kathleen Owings. We're going to have a jolly roundtable discussion about hot topics of what's happening in and out of NAIFA. And with that being said, before we get going, Carina, how are you today? Where are you today?
I am doing great. I am in my office today outside of Philadelphia and getting ready for some crazy storms that are coming through. So yep. And I've got some surprises for you today, Chris.
Okay. That'll be good. Kathleen, how are you today?
I'm doing well, thank you. And I am coming to you from my home office just on the north side of Colorado Springs. So I'm excited for the conversation. We had some really great fun banter before this, but I wanted to save some of it for this conversation. So let's dive right into it.
All right, cool. Zach, NLC's right around the corner. Can you highlight that for a moment to let's see if we can get some more people there.
Absolutely. The National Leadership Conference is your meeting. We gather each year to learn from each other, plan for the future, and celebrate our award winners and colleagues in leadership. NAIFA's national leaders and professional staff will facilitate sessions on growing membership, promoting advocacy, and ensuring the success of NAIFA chapters. It's a highly interactive event. We'll share best practices, plan for 2026 together, motivate each other, network with colleagues, and have a lot of fun. And we can move the needle forward in NAIFA Nation. Learn more at leaders.naifa.org/NLC-2025.
If you don't have your ticket yet, it's still available. Be there. You can't learn from the sidelines. So with that being said, Zach mentioned about NLC, which is right around the corner. So both of you have attended. So I mean, I'm sure you got other things to do. Why would you attend a leadership conference? I mean, just curious, like why attend something like this, and what do you hope to get out of it when you do attend?
I think for me, I'll start off, Carina. So I think for me, there's a couple of things. One is I get to see my friends. So Carina is out there in Pennsylvania. I'm here in Colorado. We were texting earlier this week, but I probably get to see her, maybe a couple of times a year. So it's an opportunity for me to see my friends, Carina, Chris. I can list all the others. And then the second is also to hear from NAIFA leadership as to what's going on, what they're looking to do, what the objectives are in the future. So it's kind of that connection and then information for me are kind of that twofold as to why I like to show up.
I'm going to echo that. Usually I get the opportunity to present, so work on my leadership skills, presenting something regarding membership. So that's always fun. Learn from other chapters about what they're doing, what's going well, what maybe hasn't worked in the past, so we can learn from them. I know specifically Texas does an amazing, and I'm like chomping at some point, Pennsylvania is going to host a Lilly alumni event. We do host them, but like Texas, I want Pennsylvania to host, and I'm put this out there. I want Pennsylvania to host an event like a Lilly alumni event that Texas hosts. So I like to go and kind of get some insider information on what they're doing every year as far as their Lilly alumni event, and hope that we can echo that and just get some ideas. It's not just about what we hear from the stage or hear from the presenters, but it's that conversation that's had in between, getting to connect with other people who are like-minded and find out what's going on and what's working in their world. And I love the awards dinner. That makes me so happy, and seeing all my friends as well is fabulous. So, Chris, what about you?
It's interesting. NLC is a love-hate relationship for me, right? It's one of those things that we go to, and it's a conference that, you're right, there's tons of great ideas. The challenge I've got is that when we take them back to our states, the execution of those ideas become super duper duper difficult because everybody doesn't attend, right? You have half your board potentially, and I'm just speaking of my experience with Chicagoland was half my board, not even half, but two of my board members attended NLC, right? But I have seven people, 9 to 10 people on my board that are active sitting members of that board. And so it's like playing telephone, right? It says, hey, Zach, hey, the sky is blue. I was walking down the street and then I saw somebody with red shoes. By the time it gets over to Kathleen, it's, hey, Chris was somewhere and he bought a pair of red shoes and he was on, he dropped his phone. So there's the dissemination of this information that without being in the room, it's very difficult. The second thing, the reason why this is kind of an oxymoron for me and the challenge is that I tend to find that many people, I don't know about you guys, but when you look around at leadership, a lot of the people that are leading, they lead their own people, like so that they don't get out of their own little bubble, right? And they kind of stay in their bubble, and they go and they're like, okay, we're gonna talk and we're gonna talk about us, and they're gonna talk. And they look over their little, like, oh, let's see what they're doing. Okay, I'm not gonna tell. They live in this little bubble. They even go to lunch together. They even walk together. It's kind of funny. You see people walking together that actually see each other all the time, and they kind of stay within that space. And part of expanding and growing is the ability to embrace other and for us to learn from each other. And we don't do that intentionally. And I understand comfort, but I think it's a very difficult thing to do. So what ideas might you guys have for like the incubation of these type of ideas that force people to engage with others of other states that we may not be doing, or maybe we should consider? What are some of the thoughts that run through your head when I say that, guys?
All right, I'm gonna throw something out real quick on this. And just because we were just cleaning out my basement, so I have the name tags. Do either of you keep the name tags from these events? Like I'm the only. I mean,
I don't have all. I have some. Of them. They're hanging downstairs with
Okay.
my race tags.
Yep.
The race
Yep.
bibs. Yeah.
So I have these, and because I went to these conferences when I was a kid, I've got like them from forever. I have 40 years of name tags. I need to purge. I know. So we're going through them, and what I find from not all that long ago were pins and stickers from different states. And I know there are some people that just are anti the pins and stickers. I like to look like I leave working from TGI Fridays. I'm just saying.
The flare.
It was a way for people to engage. There we go. Like people to engage with other people in a like, hey, hi, I'm Carina. Like, hey, do you have a sticker from Pennsylvania? Do you have a Liberty Bell? Like, it was a way to just have fun and maybe talk to some people from different areas, either get stickers or give stickers. And like, it was just a fun, inviting way. That I enjoyed, and I know there are some other people that don't, but that I enjoy getting to laugh and talk and engage with other people. That's I want to bring back. I have like a Facebook post somewhere that's like bring back the stickers or something like that regarding NAIFA conferences. I want it back.
Would be good. I mean, have some way to engage with other members, because there's some folks like, I know I'll just go up to anyone and talk to anyone. So for me, it's not outside my comfort level, but maybe it's getting stickers from someone. Or as a kid, this is kind of silly, but I remember doing a summer reading program at the library. And by doing so many things, or maybe do like a little treasure hunt, you would get those stickers. Maybe at these events, there's some type of level of engagement for people like, hey, if you fill out this card, maybe it's talking to various members, talking to members from different states, getting this information, talking to vendors, etc., turning it in, and you win a prize. I mean, even as adults, who doesn't want to win a prize? So there might be some form of engagement that, NAIFA is supporting for people who, unlike me, don't always talk to everyone, getting them outside their comfort level and having them engage with people, to your point, Chris, outside of their bubble, because I know what you're saying. People are comfortable with each other. If I'm sitting at the table with Carina, we're just going to catch up on the kids and what's going on and races. But it's also good for me to talk to new faces that I don't know.
What about you, Chris? What do you think?
Well, NLC will take on a different form this year. So perhaps that will allow, so if you've been to NLC before and you're like, oh, I've been there, done that, right? The layout and in which the program this year is designed different because the people, ask for more planning modules and opportunities to do planning. So there's more of that and more breakout. So it'll be a different play this year. Again, they're going to try it to see, how it works. And if it works, we'll expand on it. But so excited about something new and something fresh and new ideas. So I'm super excited about that. And I'm super excited to see the both of you. We get a chance to break bread and spend some time. And, I always leave being motivated from the two of you. Every time I see Carina's like, I'm going to go work out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And I'm like, I left my shoes at home, whatever. And then Kathleen, just like being around her, just give me like 10% of her energy level. I'm all good. I'm like, it's like
just a little bit.
Just a battery pack, right? She's like, yeah, I used to get up at 2 a.m. and I ran like 30 miles and I actually biked. Like, I'm like, what? Like, this is crazy. Yeah. So
are you following my Strava?
You guys are doing a lot. So it's always good to be around you guys for motivation and reflection on some of the things I'm not doing that perhaps I should do. So that's.
Oh no, Chris. Kathleen and I actually have shirts, and you have one that has a phrase that you have said before on it.
Yeah. I don't remember that phrase. I have a short memory.
Making discipline sexy.
That's right. That's right. That's right, Carina. That's right. Okay. We're doing it different, right?
I pack that shirt for every NAIFA conference in hopes that someday the three of us will wake up in the morning and work out.
So you're saying I should bring it to NLC?
We can bring it to NLC. We can meet Carina. We can go for a run. But the deal is you guys can't leave me. You guys got to actually hang around me because I'm not.
We won't leave you. We won't leave you.
And you got to have one of those, as you run marathons, as you run, there's like the mile marker and then there's like the 5-mile marker and then there's a 7-mile marker. And then I can take a shortcut and meet you guys at like the 7-mile and like
the cutoff.
Like, let's go, guys. I'm ready. I've been here waiting for you. What are you waiting for? So we can have some fun with that. So let's shift gears
for a workout with you, Chris. I'll do a gym workout with you. I'll give it up.
I'll sacrifice. I'll go run. I'll run. I will run. I'll run just so I can say I was able to keep up. It's all.
The problem with that, Chris, is your one stride. I have like 3. My little legs are gonna have to be going fast.
But your duration.
Possibly.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about endurance. Let's talk about endurance. So endurance is important in working out. And I know both of you are fairly active as it deals with your physical health, right? And so but endurance is also important in our industry and in financial services. So talk to us a little bit about like, how do you build endurance, both physically and quite frankly in this industry? Because I'm sure there's times where you're tired and you're just like, man, I'm done for it. Like, but there's more for you to do. So how do you, what techniques are you guys using to kind of build endurance?
I think one for me is when you do the hard stuff, you're then able to get through the hard stuff. I think if you're not testing yourself, pushing yourself to certain limits, and everyone's limits are going to be different. I mean, my limits are, you said, Chris, that I do crazy things. My husband does even crazier things. I mean, he is at a very high physical performance level that most people cannot operate at, which I'm amazed by. But he pushes himself to extreme limits. I push myself to greater limits because when I am stressed at work or things do stress me out, I know what I can handle. because I've pushed myself to those limits. I think many times people don't do it, A, because they're afraid of failure, which if you're not failing, you're not trying is kind of how I think of it. But if you are pushing yourself to those limits, you're able to handle the stress better, I think, because if you're not, everything's going to stress you out, right? Everything's going to kind of push you over the edge. So I think that's one of the reasons I do some of the harder stuff that I do. And don't get me wrong, there are times when I'm doing the hard stuff and I'm thinking, why am I here? Like, what am I doing? This is silly. But I have that in my mind knowing, okay, push yourself harder and this will make you better than you were yesterday. So that's one of the reasons why I do that and how I can deal with the stress levels, because this can be a stressful business. I mean, life can be stressful. Then you add this business on top of it and kids and family and everything else, and it becomes a lot.
So I heard you say, so Zach, we need to clip that quote. When you do the hard stuff, you learn, when you do the hard things, you learn the hard things. Is that what you said?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a good summary. Or you learn how to handle the hard things.
Okay.
You know, if you know you can do hard things, you're going to push yourself and want to be better at it and not have that fear. I think that's also the biggest thing is people have a fear of the hard things, for failure, not performing, whatever.
Interesting. Endurance is our topic, Carina. What are you doing to push yourself, endure, either physically and or with the business? What do you got going on over there?
I like to stay involved in many things. I think when I like endurance for me, well, I mean, there's so many different ways that I look at it, but in business for me, being on like the property and casualty side. So we get hit with stuff. I mean, and in the financial side, you get hit with stuff that's completely out of your control. I like to have not all my, keep my eggs in multiple baskets. So when something goes completely awry in one area, I can shift and maybe not put all that focus. So like I'm able to juggle. And then also learning to shift at home as a mom, learning to shift, it's to keep going and make those high priority things, non-negotiables, and keep moving and keep pushing, and just understand that it'll all get done, right? Like we'll get there.
Carina, do you find, I find sometimes when I don't have a lot on my plate, I think there is a tipping point. I feel like I do have a tipping point where it is too much, and I know when I get there, but also when there's not enough, it feels a little boring. That's kind of the word I'll use. It's a little stagnant and boring, but when I have enough going on, I feel like I get in a really good flow and it keeps me in a good rhythm. I don't know if you feel the same way.
So I use the word lazy, which my coach is trying to tell me to. I'm like, I'm lazy. He's like, oh yeah, lazy is the word I would use.
That's the first word I use for you. It's not, by the way.
Like I'm lazy. Yeah. If I'm not overcommitted, I feel lazy. Which I'm trying to find the appropriate adjective for it. It isn't lazy, but yeah, I mean exactly what you described. But I push my limits. Yeah, definitely. I feel like if you don't know, if you're not afraid to fail, you're not
trying.
Yeah, you're not trying. You're not going to see you're not going to learn what you're capable of either. So, Chris,
so my term instead of lazy was sluggo. Yeah. That's what we call people who are like, all right, don't be a sluggo.
All right. My grandfather used to say, he was like, are you a Fraggle or a doozer? Do you remember like Fraggle Rock?
Yeah, Fraggle Rock.
And he's always like, don't be a Fraggle, be a doozer. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to be a doozer. Get it
That's
done.
Cute.
Yeah.
Chris, what about you?
Yeah.
One of my mentors talks the talk about you're either a camper or a climber. And so you're either always climbing, and if you're not climbing, you're going to fall. And if you're a camper, then you get left behind. So you're constantly looking at what you have on your plate and say, are you climbing or camping? Which then forces you to kind of improve so you can continue climbing, right? So it's a little self-reflection, simple sayings, things like that. I think some of the simplest things, like keep the main thing, right? And so we get all off into fee-based financial planning and comprehensive stuff, blah, blah, blah. And, we come back to keep the main thing, right? Our goal is to give our clients the best opportunity to show up for themselves and their families. I mean, that's at the end of the day, that's what we do, right? So all the other stuff just meshes around that. So campers or climbers, right? Which one are you, right? And so if you're measuring yourself, if you're a NAIFA member, you're like, am I really late? Or did you climb to camp because you're comfortable now? You've done okay. You already now, now, okay, I'm not going to go broke. Okay. I've been in the industry now. I'm not going to go broke. Okay. But do I want to get to the place where I'm doing 5 million of production? If I want to get there, not only do I have to push myself, but I have to fire myself and I have to reinvent myself probably 20 times over before I'm ready for that. So I'll give you guys a saying that my wonderful therapist and I talk about all the time is that you have to let me put it the right way, because if not, it's not going to sound right. You have to be willing. No, I'll say it differently. You got to decide who you want to become before you actually get there. So the concept is, you got to look inwardly to figure out who you need to become so that those things naturally happen. Like example, let's say you're a $100,000 producer. You have to think and act like you're a $300,000 producer and do some of those things. So then you can acquire and do something and become some of those things, right? So you have to think and do before you become. And I think that's the hard part in our business, because let's call it what it is, ladies. This business allows for us to have really good lifestyles and freedom of time. And quite frankly, you've been doing this 10, 15, 20 years. You don't have to work as hard as you did the first year. So how are you guys staying in the game and keep climbing? Like that part of it is like, and Kathleen, I'll throw out to you that sometimes you have to sit in the fire to feel the heat. Boom, right? So sometimes you have to sit with the silence and the quiet so you can really think through what this looks like if you happen to be that person, if you happen to get that large account, sometimes you have to be willing to not be busy so you can be busy. And that's the hard part, right? For a doer, right? That those are hard things.
I think it is, because it's a conscious decision not to do things or not to say yes. Probably for the three of us, well, I'll at least speak for myself. Saying no is very hard for me to do. Now I've gotten better at it. I've started to identify, okay, if I say yes to something, I'm saying no to other things. Mm-hmm. And am I good with that? And I feel like I've gotten much better at saying no. No, I don't have time for that. No, I can't do it. And the other part, here's where I'm not as good at, though, is not giving a reason. No is a complete sentence. You don't have to say no because. I have to work on that second part. It's like almost justifying why I'm telling that person no. They don't need to know why I can't help them or support them at this point in time. So you are absolutely correct. I think to be a better leader and to get to that next level, Chris, you do need to sit in that silence and maybe take a pause, take a step back, because it does go fast. When you put your head down and then you pull it up, sometimes you're like, holy moly, I've been in the business now 18 years. My daughter graduated from high school. I'm like, where did that go? I mean, I remember her dropping her off at elementary school, which is down the street from my house. And those days are long gone. It went fast. So that silence can be reflective, I think, in a good way. Hopefully it's a good way. You mentioned something, and we talked about this before the podcast, but you said, that you have a therapist. As a high performer, here's where I sometimes get frustrated, is because people probably look at me and think, oh, she's got it all together. She's perfect. It's easy. No, I don't. No, it isn't. And some days I don't think I do. So, and I can start, are you doing to kind of keep it all together and keep going through the hard times, the good times, the fun times? I also have a therapist. I think it's one of the best things I've done for myself to go talk to someone and get it out of my head and have those healthy conversations to allow me to operate at this level. I have a study group. I meet with a study group every single month, once every single month for a couple hours. And we share with each other. We look for ideas. We talk to each other. Some of them I talk to a couple times a month in between the meetings. But that's helped me tremendously in the growth of my business. So what are you guys doing?
Karina, what do you got
There you
going
go.
on?
I got all kinds of things going on. So I have a business coach, we'll say, but it's Marcus Ogden. He's an amazing, all around coach, which has really helped me. I keep a journal. One of my best friends and I send memes back and forth, which is, a free form of therapy at all hours of the day and night. That's a free form of therapy. I recognize I love the camper and the climber, Chris. I recognize that there are seasons in my life where I want to be one or the other. And, the summer, well, and even within a week. So for instance, this week, my youngest is in camp Monday through Thursday from 9 to 3. And she has after school activities for 2 hours every single night. So during that time, I'm making a conscious effort to either be doing stuff for work or do stuff, the mom stuff. Friday, she's off. And I'll wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning and I'll get my workout in because that's what that task to complete to make me feel good, to get my endorphins going, has to be done first thing in the morning for me. And I'll get to work and let her sleep. And then she's having a friend and we're going to the pool. And it's, so I'm going to climb all week so I can camp on Friday, right? We know in our office, we go through different seasons of this, and it could be, May is crazy or June's crazy because the kids have stuff. So we're not climbing at work because we're climbing with our kids, So I love that frame of reference for it. And we keep a calendar, and we keep in the office, we keep each other accountable, and we'll call each other out on it. Are you, well, we use the term lazy, but I'm going to recoin now, but it's, are you working today or are you just hanging out here? And it could change. So, yeah.
That's the idea of where we are today and where we're going are two different places, right? And so we've got to be comfortable. You asked the question about a therapist. So early in my career, all the way back when we were playing sports in college, they required us to talk to. We had a person on the team that they at least you had to sit with once a week. It was what it was. Even if you had nothing to talk, you just sat there and you ended up talking about something. I'm sure it was probably therapeutic. We just didn't realize it at the time. Right. But high performance, right? And you're having to do two jobs. You're having to do the job of a student and you're having to do the job as an athlete, right? At the same time. And you need to perform well at both. And, some kids can't get through college, without just balancing their social life and balancing school and balancing the freedom that they now have. Now imagine having the responsibility of being an athlete and actually having to do all that too. So it's a lot. And it's very calculated and it's very organized and it's very scheduled out. But in doing that, the mind is nothing more than a muscle that we just exercise. And you guys know, exercise, we build muscles, right? So the more we use it, the more we get a chance to build it. So I call it mental push-ups. So when I go see my guy, I go see how we talk. And I say, let's do some mental push-ups. He's like, okay, let's go. Right. And so just think about working out, let's go get it. But most people, and I'll just say guys, shall we? We as men see it as as weakness or something's wrong. I'm speaking to guys that I know. I can't speak for all guys, but we see it as a weakness and that we can figure it all out because that's how men think, right? We can figure things out. We're fixers, right? Even when it doesn't need to be fixed, right? And it's difficult for us to admit that we're not, and that comes from the way in which the culture in which we grew up in, right? Is admitting that aren't, we can't fix it. We're not strong enough to do it. And so that whole idea of being vulnerable enough to reflect on the inside and learn about ourselves that then we can show on the outside. And it's a really difficult place. And so I would just tell you, finding the right person that can really help you, not necessarily the person that tells you what you want to hear, but the person that helps you. The other thing I've learned is my therapist doesn't help me do anything. Nothing. He doesn't fix anything. I'm like, just tell me what to do. He's like, that's not why we're here, right? So it's very frustrating from that perspective. But the one thing that he has shown me how to do is understand how to make healthy decisions based on my past, my traumas, my patterns, my issues, so that I don't repeat the patterns in different relationships that I have, whether it's my work relationship, my professional relationship with you guys, whether it's my relationship with Zach, my relationship with my partner, whatever it may be, that I don't create those patterns that I inadvertently don't want. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah. And I think, I mean, you touched on a point, and that word vulnerability, I think, makes people uncomfortable. It's a very touchy-feely word. When I think about it and why Fred's my guy, but when I go talk to Fred, to me, it's more of like a discovery and self-awareness. Yes, I'm being vulnerable, but I see that for myself as a strength, because if I'm aware of myself, I can only serve others better. If I'm aware that I can't do something as well, I'm very open about telling people that's not my thing. But I think that's also from I love like digging in and getting into it, whereas most people probably don't want to. But that's because to me, it goes down to like when you go to the gym and do strength training, you're trying to break it down to build it up. Right. Same kind of thing. I mean, they did that to me. Now they did it to an extreme, but in boot camp, I was broken down to be built up. I feel like I'm constantly doing that in my life. Not as extreme again in those senses, but you're only stronger by doing that breakdown because you're going to be stronger coming out of that experience, whatever that is. So I'm not saying I cry at every therapy session, but it's discovery, kind of breaking that down. And then to your point, Chris, like, okay, how can I do this differently? Because we all get into those patterns. We're human beings. Our brains want to be lazy, right? Because that conserves energy. So that's why we have those pathways where we just do things routine, and maybe that's habits or the reactions that we have. But I'm like you, I just want to be better than I was yesterday.
Right. I think if we can do that, I think we've shown up better for our families. We show up better for ourselves, our clients. We show up better, and we're able to be better and uplift others better and easier than if we don't, right? If we think we got it all figured out, we got a lot to learn. Right?
There's a surprise. We don't.
Right. We've got some. So those out there that are listening and was like, I got it all figured out. Yeah. I'm doing everything. There's somebody out there that's doing better. There's somebody out there that is more conscious and aware. And I think we have to be okay with I read a book not too long ago, and one of the quotes in there was, you are enough and what you have is enough. And there's period. And you listen to that and you're like, what? Like, no, I need more. And it's like, no, you are enough. And what you have is enough. And so once we remove that and break that down, it gets really deep. But we're not going to get too deep because people will be like, okay, wait a minute, what's going on over at NAIFA? Let's talk a little bit about Carina. In our our growing state of NAIFA, life happens to be a part of our ability to tell stories and our ability to connect with others. Can you share with us, a lot of NAIFA advisors are unaware that life happens is really under the NAIFA umbrella. They understand it's there, but they're uncertain. Like, so I know you're serving in a role with Life Happens. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on over there and why we need to be awakened by what's happening at Life Happens and need to be utilizing some of the tools that are there?
So many things happening with Life Happens. I love it. I was asked to serve and happily agreed to serve on the board for Life Happens this year, and it's been just mind blowing experience because there's so much. And one of my first professional NAIFA memories was I was with there. I was at a dinner for Pennsylvania, and I just so happened I was put at a table with a Life Happens advisor. There used to be, there are scholarships, which are amazing. We gave out, I believe it was 40 scholarships this year, couple $100,000. It's amazing. I served on the panel and got to read some of the scholarship essays and go through and help pick those scholarship recipients. But there's, for advisors, there is marketing material unlike any other. And it potentially non-company specific. So if you're working with the company, there are some companies that use Life Happens. And so some of that can be branded with your company. It can be independent, if not. And they has all type of things that you can use on social media, that you could use in, emails or newsletters. I would challenge anyone who hasn't been on Life Happens within the past month, because the Life Insurance Awareness Month material is, I believe, up now, to get and spend even 20 minutes on Life Happens, taking a look at all the marketing material that you are able to use as a NAIFA member. There's so much good information. If you can't find something that you can use, you can reach out to me. You can reach out to Brian Steiner, I'm sure, the executive director, and we can find something that can work, because it's just so much information regarding disability insurance and life insurance that can be used all year, not just during those specific months. So I challenge anyone to spend 15, 20 minutes on lifehappens.org and see and there's great calculators for consumers to help them. If you're working with someone who is looking at life insurance and like where to even start the conversation, it's not company specific. It's general information for a consumer to just take a look and get some knowledge in a way that's not just giving all kinds of insurance terms. Like it's something they can calculate and see what, and get an idea of where and then you can see where they're coming from for that. So and as far as disability and life insurance planning, just unbelievable amount of information.
There's Life Happens has kind of snuck in the back room, right? And it's kind of snuck in and standing in the back. And we're like, hey, we see that really tall person back there. And who is that, right? And I think Life Happens has a little bit of that going on. And I think in NLC, if you haven't had a chance to engage, and I mean truly engage, right? Not just be like, oh, we know what Life Happens, it's a video, right? To really engage in NLC, an opportunity to engage with the people from Life Happens, Carina and Brian Steiner and some of the people that really understand the role of our ability to connect with clients, tell the stories, and the ability for us to actually show, regardless of the companies we're with, how these products save people's lives, how they change people's lives, how these products are actually being used. And there's the media, and there's the general public, and then there's TikTok. Okay, right? And there's always these narratives out there. Insurance doesn't work in this way. Insurance and blah 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 blah. But here's a healthy, vetted source that tells the stories the right way. So I encourage all of NAIFA members that are listening to this podcast to engage with life happens in a way that you've never engaged with before. Kathleen?
I think it's a great resource we have because, as we know, we can throw statistics at clients all day long. Statistics kind of go over people's heads. I think it's the stories that are most impactful. Those stories are real people who live in our country, in our communities, and they can see how life insurance made a difference, disability insurance made a difference in these people's lives, whether sadly, if someone passed too soon, the family is able to maintain a business or maintain their lifestyle. I think that's the most powerful part about Life Happens is it's true stories about true people that our clients can connect with. It's not just, a statistic about 1 in 3 people might need some disability insurance at some point before 65. Because most people think, well, I'm not that 1 in 3. I'm not going to be that person. You may not. I don't know.
Right.
But the story is the most impactful.
Always. So with that being said, I think we're coming to a close, but we always have this speed round that's kind of fun. And so let's just kind of have a round table speed round. What do you guys think? I like that. So I know you guys didn't prepare any questions. So
actually, I did prepare some questions, Chris.
Oh, you did. Okay. So we will just pepper Kathleen with a bunch of questions, right?
Let's do it. Let's go for it.
Let's go through a speed round. Zach, what do you think?
I think that it's time for Karina's surprise.
Oh, so Carina,
Chris, we set up this podcast secretly to interview you today.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because you get to be, the interviewer, and you have been for so long and have done such an amazing job. And we wanted to surprise you and interview you a little bit. So I know Kathleen and I have both been through speed rounds before.
Okay.
I feel like at a minimum we should be speed rounding you.
I like it. I like it. Let's do it.
Kathleen, do you want me to start?
Hold on. Let me put on my, some of my hardware that you told me I can't wear today because you're throwing them all away, right? I have my NAIFA.
No, I'm keeping on.
I got more NAIFA stuff. I don't know where my NAIFA hat is, but I would put it on. But maybe I have a NAIFA glass somewhere on my thing, but I don't know. All right, let's do it.
All right. Favorite vacation.
Favorite vacation would be let's go with I really enjoyed Bermuda. I like Bermuda. Bermuda is a beautiful part of the world, and we can get there about 50 minutes outside of New York or Philadelphia. Easy flight up and down. If you haven't been to Bermuda, go to Bermuda. And if you're asking where to stay, Cambridge Beaches, in case you're curious. Beautiful blue water. I'm not selling on here, but it's a beautiful place. One of the most beautiful places in the world if you've never been.
Okay, Bermuda. I would like to go there. Describe a perfect day for you.
A perfect day for me would be to get up, work out, of course. Part of my day is getting up and doing it early. And then having 4 to 5 meetings. And at the end, getting a chance to eat a steak and mac and cheese and some ice cream. That would probably be my jam because that's just sounds like a pretty good day to me.
Wait, follow-up question. What kind of ice cream?
Doesn't matter. It's ice cream.
Oh, it's ice cream.
It's more like what ice cream don't you like? There's only like a couple I don't like, right? Which is like mint chocolate chip was this. That's like disgusting. There's like two things that don't go together.
Stop it.
Listen, someone told me the other day, they were like, there's things that don't go together.
Thin Mints? What?
No, there's things that don't go together. Like the concept of who made up the saying that you can't have your cake and eat it too. Then why would you even have the cake? Doesn't make sense. See, make you think. See, those type of things. So
I still don't know about you. Mint chocolate chip. Yeah. Come on.
No, mint chocolate chip I can't do. And I can't do a lot of the crazy flavors that the Superman and all the stuff the kids like and all those crazy flavors. So, just it is what it is.
Okay, fair enough. Go ahead, Carina.
Do you listen to music or podcasts or anything while you work out?
Do I listen to music? Yes, I listen to old school gangster rap. I don't know if that's like old school. Like I listen to the most ridiculous thing ever, right? On purpose, so that I can pretend that I'm like in Grand Theft Auto, like when I was like 16 or 17 years old, and I'm like doing all the crazy things, and like, it is what it is. So I don't know. It's completely different in my life now, but you know, I'm just living my life out as a 16, 17-year-old kid, just kind of like, yes, do it, whatever. So that's about it.
I think we're all doing that. I 16, 17 had a Walkman. So I'm still listening to like Pearl Jam 10 album where I had the cassette in my Walkman. I don't have that anymore, obviously, but same thing. It's I listen to the most ridiculous stuff. I'm like, if people only knew what I was listening to in my car right now, Metallica, Pearl Jam. Doesn't quite fit the package, but I hear you. I get it.
I'm listening to all those things. I'm listening to, that time. Tupac, who's no longer with us. Biggie, who's no longer is with us. Snoop, there's no, I'm listening to all those.
Snoop's around. He's now a grandpa. He's Grandpa Snoop.
He's not the same Snoop that I remember. So that's what I'm listening to when I'm working out. And when I'm working out on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturdays, I'm actually doing boxing. So if you guys want to do boxing while we're in DC, I have the place right across, not too far from the office where we can go and I can put you through our workout and hopefully you make it back in one piece.
I would take you up on that. I also work out. Tuesday and Thursdays are my strength training days with my trainer, Lori, who I adore. I just had a workout with her this morning. So I'd be game to do it.
Love it. All right.
What else you got for me, Karina?
Okay.
Come on.
What you got? Favorite book?
Favorite book, Think and Grow Rich. I read it every year, beginning to the end. And then now I'm reading Meditations, the stories of Marcus Aurelius, which is the one thing which is kind of interesting. Someone said you got to read this, and every chapter is about a lesson he learned from a peasant. So if you look at kings, most kings were overthrown back in the day because of the uprising of the people. Marcus Aurelius was one that not only did he serve as king, but he serves as through numerous times as a king and was never overthrown, was always lifted up by the people. So you say, what was he doing differently than some of like King Henry VIII and some of those other people? And one of the things he was doing is he would disguise himself as a peasant and walk amongst his people. And he would learn stories from farmers to the people that didn't have homes he would learn stories and then he would write about those and he would actually have that be part of the way in which he ruled. So that was it's kind of cool. It's called Meditations. It's really, really, really good.
I just wrote that down. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think that, okay, I'm going to deviate on a tangent real quick. I think that's what many leaders miss is being able to connect with individuals. They get to this high peak level. Right. They either forgot how they got there, who they're serving, and what it's like. They get to a level beyond normal people.
Right. And I'm assuming that you two, so I have a challenge for you two since you decided to ask me that question. So I'm going to ask that you guys read the book, The Inner Work. Between now and matter of fact, I'll buy you the book, but I want you to read it. And after you read it, tell me what you think. Okay.
All right.
So
challenge accepted.
It's called The Inner Work. And I'll tell you in 2 seconds who wrote it. If you just give me 1 second here. It is written by because I keep it on my nifty diffty so I can listen to it while The Inner Work is by Matthew and Michelle. Matthew Micheletti. It's really good.
I'm reading Let Them right now. I say it a lot.
Oh my gosh, I love that book.
Yeah, you're supposed to give me the book review of that after you're done.
It's really good.
I heard it's good.
It is really good. It's really good. And she's one of my favorite podcasts too.
Yeah, she's phenomenal. Okay. Last question. lunch, dinner, share a meal with your favorite person or person, living or deceased. Who would it be, Chris?
Can I have two, or I just have to have one?
Come on.
Hey, listen. I created the question, so I get to. So I would have one lunch or dinner, and I would have it with two people. I would have two people. I would have Martin Luther King sitting to my left, and to my right, I would have Muhammad Ali. Those are the two people I would have there. And I would ask them one question. I would ask them, if you had to do it all over again, would you do it the same way? And I think learning from them and having a conversation and camaraderie with them would allow for me to just be in the midst of people that led not by power, because neither one of them were really overly powerful, but they led through words and they led through work, right? And both of them were considered some of the best leaders that have come. And again, they didn't cure cancer, they didn't, but they had a voice and they created a movement that led others. So I would have conversations with them because I just think they've become the epitome of what selfless leadership looks like in some respect.
I love that.
You thought you stumped me? Come on now.
No,
You didn't ask me my favorite food. You didn't ask.
Well, the favorite food, that's a layup. That's a layup because that's
Mac
what you
and
go to.
cheese,
That's
ice cream.
Chris is like favorite food.
Ice cream. Yeah, I know. I was going to ask you favorite dessert. However,
I even had someone even tried to get me to eat some mac and cheese ice cream. I was like, what?
Ew.
This is disgusting.
No.
But
That's like that's popcorn flavored jelly beans. That's what that is to me. Like they are disgusting.
Yeah. Jelly bellies are great, but when you get the ones that you're like, what was that?
Popcorn, disgusting.
Yeah. So I have a challenge for you guys, and then we'll close.
All right.
I'd like to challenge you to the first NAIFA sit-up challenge. See,
okay.
Sit-ups are.
I need to work on my core.
See, listen.
We're talking about my core, right?
So Carina.
I'll be last. It's fine.
Karina, listen, we could either do sit-ups or we can do plank. Okay? I don't care who it is, right? Whatever it is, I'll let you guys pick it. But one day at NLC, and Zach, we're going to film it. We're going to film it? Oh my God. Okay. We can laugh at it together. We're not going to show it to other people. We're going to laugh at it together. Right? And the loser, whoever loses, has to donate $250 to the PAC. That's a positive.
Can we do a split between PAC and Life Happens?
Sure.
All right. Because it's going to be me losing. I know.
Kathleen?
I'm up.
I'm in. What are we doing? Are we planking? Are we doing sit-up? I can go back to my sit-up days. I used to be able to do, this is old. Like I tried to get like 102 minutes. I was 18 years old. So that's a long time ago,
you know those kind of sit-ups, right? Those are like half sit-ups. Like, let's go.
No, they're not. Stop it. No, it was straight up and down. You just threw your body down and hit it really hard. Stop it. Seriously. Okay, what are we doing? Am I planking?
These are going to be, if we're doing sit-ups, they're going to be, Zach's going to be there, and Zach's going to make sure that they're full sit-ups. Like you have to sit all the way up and all.
I was sitting. Look, these were Army sit-ups. This was legit.
Yeah.
I'm on Amazon right now looking for a referee outfit.
Right. So if we're going to do plank, which everybody understands what plank is, right? So if we do plank, then it's just simply about sheer.
How long?
Right. And Kathleen, I think you're the tiniest of us all. Like you have an advantage. Like the longer and taller you are, the harder it is to hold plank, right? So.
Oh, do you know what this is, Chris? The smallest violin.
I'm going to start. So I want to open this up to those who listen to our podcast, that if you would like to join us one day at NLC for the plank challenge.
We're doing plank? Okay, we're planking.
We're doing the plank challenge. And to be a part of the Plank Challenge, you have to either A, donate to the PAC, or you have to donate to Life Happens we're not even going to state the amount. You just have to do it, right? And so show up with us. We'll let you know where it's going to be. And again, we'll have some fun there. And I just think it's a great opportunity for us to laugh a little and raise some money for a good cause and to just like I said, have some fun.
I think we need matching shirts that say plank this. Do you like that one?
Zach.
I don't know. I'm just saying plank this. That I just came up with that. You guys can come up with another tagline.
I like it. So I issued the challenge to NAIFA members and also to my wonderful co-host here. Both of them are fantastic. We love the both of you, and we feel super honored to have you on this podcast because again, you guys are the voice of many, and we appreciate all the efforts that both of you put forth in NAIFA, and this will be fun the next year and a half as we continue to spend more time together, and it'll be a good time.
Well, Chris, I want to thank you because now you're bringing in. You don't realize what you just did. Like, I get challenges and I get a little obsessed. So I will be planking every day, and you're going to go down.
I know.
I'm just saying.
I know. So
and I love it. I love it.
I'm going to go back to work so I can make money to just set in a savings account aside for the two of you. I will make an effort to try, but I'm going to also, sell some extra policies to pay for my loss.
It's $200. It's $200, Karina. Come on. I mean, it's $200. It's
$250.
We're saying that at the end of the day, this would be a great way for us to bring others together, and for us to be able to build a community of like-minded people who are interested in just being a part of something cool, neat, different. We've never done it before. Zach, have we had a plank challenge before?
Not that I know of.
I don't think so.
Right?
No.
We had the walking challenge. We've had walking challenges, step challenges.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I love that water bottle, by the way. Love it. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah. So we'll have QR code to make a donation to the PAC, to make a donation to Life Happens and or both. And, you can join us. We're not even naming the denomination you have to give. So it's just us three. The loser of us three have to give. Is it both? Hold on, just clarification of the rules. Is it both? There's only one winner, so two of us have to give to the organization. Is that how that works? Can we get I want to make sure the rules are clear.
I'd be fine with that. If there's one winner and then the other two have to give, I'm good with that. Yes, let's do it.
I'm good with that. I'm good with it.
And Chris, I will say NAIFA and the advisor today and all the listeners of the podcast are very thankful and glad. And it's just an honor that you have been the host and co-host and all the things for as long as it's been going on. And I was glad, happy to do a little fire round on you today. So
love it. All right. Well, I'm going to close this out. Thanks for tuning in to Advisor Today podcast. We had some fun, kind of round table, a little different flavor than you probably are used to. But just always remember that we were brought here to join in a journey and inspiration and impact NAIFA and our advisors and individuals in our community in which we serve. And every conversation that we have is a step forward in shaping the future for our industry and everywhere we are and what we do. Just remember, leadership is not from the side, and it's not a title. It's a daily choice. Until next time, stay driven, stay inspired, and always belong, believe, and always lead. We'll see you soon. Thanks.
Thanks for joining us for NAIFA's Advisor Today podcast series. Make sure to subscribe to get future episodes. And if you're interested in coming on the show, let us know.